Honey, y'all remember when not too long ago, Tamar blocked her sister Toni on social media, and Toni only found out that she was blocked when she tried to tag Tamar on her birthday? Apparently, there was so much more going on behind the scenes, with insiders claiming that Tamar had also been spreading all sorts of filth against her sister, and allegedly, it had everything to do with Birdman.
Are you guys a couple?
Well, T, that's my girl, my friend, my family.
Do you have sex?
That's my love, my soldier, my life. She my everything, and I trust her.
Because you bought her a Bentley truck.
Yes.
So the implication is that's your girlfriend.
She my life.
I'm not necessarily talking about them being in love, but how the streets was saying that the marriage and the divorce may have been a way for Toni to hustle Birdman because she is Baroque. Allegedly, this is a narrative that Tamar has also been pushing behind the scenes. So is this a way to get back at her sister because of the recent drama they've been having? Let's find out. Now, y'all know that it's been one hell of a roller coaster with the Braxtons, and their shenanigery, especially with Tamar, has only escalated in the last couple of months. I mean, Tamar went on a meltdown before she disabled her social media accounts, and she made several explosive posts on her X page claiming that her family is toxic. In her now deleted posts on X, she wrote, "Y'all have no idea, none. The gaslighting is crazy, and I'm going back into treatment. OMG. I just pray that my marriage can be saved and my life can be spared. My family is awful." She also said in a different post, "I'm so mad at my life. My family is toxic. I should have never went back to BFV." Tamar also recently revealed that in the upcoming season of the Braxtons, she was asked to be Tawanda's maid of honor, but admitted she felt the invite wasn't sincere. She shared that she wasn't included in the bridal shower or kept in the loop with details beforehand, saying she basically just got a text a week before the wedding asking if she could take on the role. Tamar pointed out that Tawanda had Toni and Trina heavily involved in the process, making them feel welcomed, while she felt excluded. Because of this and ongoing tension with Tawanda's now husband, who Tamar says has spoken on her and fueled drama, she decided not to attend the wedding. Okay, we know that she's probably not had the best relationship with Tawanda, but Toni? I mean, I really thought they were cool. Well, apparently not. And based on reports, they've had issues since sometime last year. And Toni only found out on Tamar's last birthday when she realized she had been blocked. Toni herself shared that she might have been blocked by her sister when she wrote, "I wanted to repost that gorgeous picture of you, but I'm blocked. Again?" Anyway, happy birthday, Tay. On the other hand, Tamar said that was pure gaslighting because Toni could have just called her. Tamar later posted screenshots of a text message between her and her sister in her Instagram story that showed them trying to pinpoint which city the other was located in just a day prior. Guys, I don't know when or how the scuffle with Toni started, but word on the street is that Tamar has allegedly been running her mouth about her sister and saying that she only married Birdman for his money, allegedly. So as far as the relationship with Birdman, when they first started dating, both Toni and Birdman talked about the possibility of marriage, but the wedding never actually happened. And Toni said they kept pushing the date because of work commitments, but that was just total BS. If she wanted to marry the man, she could have. Remember, shortly after this is when Toni said she lost her $1 million engagement ring to apparent theft after leaving it in her checked luggage, and this whole situation was just super fishy. Then the next thing we knew, the two broke up in 2019, and at the time, Birdman wrote a solitary and cryptic "It's over" caption on his Instagram, and then proceeded to delete every picture of Toni from his account. On the other hand, Toni posted a pic of herself in a red gown and wrote in the caption, "Starting a new chapter isn't always an easy choice, but always choose to be chosen. Cheers to a new year." But the two then appeared to reconcile weeks later after reuniting on stage during Toni's tour stop in Atlanta, Georgia at the Fox Theater. But then in December 2023, Toni shut down marriage rumors, writing, #fake news. My dear friend at Birdman and I are not married. Never been married. We are both single. But then in a rather shocking turn of events, we found out this year that they actually got married, then separated after 48 hours. In court documents I got my hands on, Toni and Birdman used only their initials, TB and BW. And while they probably hoped the details would remain a secret, it didn't take much to realize that the documents were about Toni and Birdman. Now, based on court documents, Toni and Birdman secretly married on August August 8th, and it says there that they separated on August 10th. Then Toni filed for divorce 2 weeks later, and in the docs, Toni and her attorney called the marriage irretrievably broken. Well, here's another plot twist to the situation. Yes, they separated just 2 days after getting married, but Toni dismissed the divorce petition in January 2025, and Birdman signed off on that too. So, as of now, they're legally still husband and wife. But as for whether they're happily married, baby, I don't know. But despite the legal status of Toni Braxton and Birdman's marriage, the reports and signs suggest their relationship may be over. Neither has been seen wearing wedding rings, and both have scrubbed photos of each other from their Instagram accounts. Weird, right? Anywho, now in light of this, people started speculating that Toni only married Birdman for the money. And given her financial situation in the last couple of years, that wouldn't be surprising. Yes, there's no denying that Toni is one of the most successful female R&B artists of all time. She started singing with her sisters in the Braxtons in the late 80s, then signed for a solo album, Toni Braxton, released in 1993. And it was an instant hit, climbing to #1 on the Billboard 200 and moving 10 million copies. The standout singles, Breathe Again and Another Sad Love Song, also helped power the album, whose producers included Babyface and Antonio L.A. Reid. Toni then followed up her debut with another successful album, Secrets, which included the smash Unbreak My Heart. The single sold 10 million copies worldwide, ranking as one of the top singles ever released. She has actually recorded 9 studio albums, the most recent released in 2020, and all of them have been pretty successful. But what a lot of people have found surprising was that despite all of her success, which included generating more than $170 million in record sales for her record label, Toni Braxton filed for bankruptcy more than once. The thing is, she was generating millions for her record label, Aris de la Face, but she made less than 35 cents per album. She even filed a lawsuit against her label, and in January 1998, 8 weeks after filing the lawsuit against the label, Toni also filed for bankruptcy. Then later, she revealed that she declared bankruptcy due to recording contract issues that amounted to her receiving less than $2,000 in royalties and having to reimburse her record label for clothes, travel, studio time, and music video costs. Her situation was so bad that at one point, Toni was accused of fraudulently transferring $53,490 to her husband, Kerry Lewis, in order to avoid paying back creditors in her bankruptcy case. This was around the time she did that interview with Oprah. And while she thought the interview was going to make people a little sympathetic to her financial situation, the interview turned out to be a very humiliating and demeaning experience for Toni Braxton, who felt that Oprah was judgmental, condescending, and unsympathetic.
Please welcome Toni Braxton!
She was so freaking mean to me. I was in shock.
Do you take responsibility for the situation that you're in right now?
100%.
100%?
100%. I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me.
I read that you were upset about stories that your overspending caused this.
She says to me, I hear you have Gucci flatware. I'm Oprah Winfrey and I don't have Gucci flatware.
First of all, I didn't know Gucci made silverware.
You ain't got Gucci flatware because you didn't want to buy it. It's not because you couldn't afford it. What do you mean? And immediately, she made me feel this big. This big. That moment completely changed my career. It made people look down on me.
And as if that wasn't hard enough, Toni also filed for bankruptcy again in 2010. But this time, it was because she was diagnosed with microvascular angina and then lupus, which forced her to cancel her lucrative Las Vegas contract.
Like a lot of people don't understand, my second bankruptcy was because I was sick. I have lupus, and my show in Vegas got canceled.
And the insurance wouldn't cover
The
it.
insurance didn't cover it, so I had to pay myself.
Right.
And so
That's a lot. That was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money to put up a show. People don't understand. If you see a concert, you see the lights, you see the band on stage, the artist pays for all that. The hotel rooms, the salary. So then you have nothing left over.
Other than this, she was also having issues in 2019 when the Internal Revenue Service filed a first lien against her on December 4th. The lien stated that Toni owed a total of $340,252.99 in back taxes for 2017. Days later, the state of California Franchise Tax Board also hit her with a tax lien of their own over $116,154.64 for money owed, bringing the total to nearly half $500,000 in back taxes. And the worst part is that while she was going through all this, Toni had to carry her entire family on her back. She even talked on numerous occasions about how she was the one who had to take care of things while her other sisters never lifted a finger.
My sister Tracy is the one who said to me, Toni, you know, when you make it, you can help us come on. So I always try to abide that. But the responsibility of it is so heavy for me. I feel I can never live my life, and I never used to say it. I never used to say anything to anybody, but since we've been doing this show, I've been saying it. Mommy and Daddy's divorced, and a divorced mom pretty much got nothing. I'm not gonna leave my mom by herself. So I'm gonna make sure my mother's taken care of. None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said,
This is before Vincent.
Before Vince, Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni with Mommy car insurance.
Or Mommy needs a car.
So yeah, to a lot of people, it actually made sense that Toni would get married to Birdman for the money. And I understand why people would make such assumptions. What I don't get is why Tamar would allegedly be reinforcing the narrative. Is her relationship with her sister really that bad? Well, based on what I've heard, Birdman is not here for any of it. And rumor has it that he actually checked Tamar. But honestly, if you ask me, with the next season of their show almost airing, I know the Braxtons would do anything to stay relevant. But let me know whether you think all this drama is necessary in the comments section below.